Alrighty, top of the morning, folks. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing swell. This is gonna be Garden Pals number 97 for Wednesday, December 22nd, the year of our Lord 2021. Approaching that 100th episode mark, very close. I could taste it. And approaching that new year, maybe you have some fresh new year resolutions. Maybe you're going to try and lose a couple pounds. Maybe you're going to start fishing. You're gonna start fishing for bass, maybe more intensely than you normally do. Your normal bass fishing schedule. Maybe you're gonna quit your job and just maybe you're just gonna be homeless for the new year. I don't know, but whatever you do, you probably won't stick with it. You know, they say most people don't stick with it. That's what they say, and those people don't lie. But yes, I welcome you to the program. Like I said, number 97. And, yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Last show, number 96 with Mr. Fritz. Fritz does art. Lovely bloke, lovely chap. Had a good little chit chat with him. He's going to be in Thailand. He's definitely already in Thailand at this point. Hopefully he's doing some cool stuff over there, maybe picking up some new hobbies. Maybe got tangled up in the Crazy Frog NFT scam. But yeah, expect some more episodes with me and Mr. Fritz. Even though he's all the way around the daggone world, we're still gonna fucking have him on the show. You see how I fucking take care of you on this show? See how Papa takes care of you? But yeah, that'll be cool. And like I said, welcome to the program. In studio here, I don't really have a name for this here studio that I'm in inside of my mother's leaky basement. But you should see it. We got a new setup. So the next podcast that we have in person here that I have with some lovely guests. I don't know who they're going to be yet. Once I plan an in-person episode and have them in, it'll be great. We got a new setup. It's going to be kind of me and the guests will be more facing each other rather than sitting side by side. And I got a new mic, so now I have three of them very nice Shure SM7Bs. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, the beverage of choice for this here episode is none other than LaCroix, and we got the guava flavor. And whilst recording this, I'm wearing some nice blue light glasses, so I kind of look like a divorced kind of looks like a divorced kind of guy. But hope your week's going well. Hope even your day is going well. My week so far at work has been very good. Some ups, some downs, some all-arounds. We're going to get into that right about now. And we'll also maybe we'll get into some Tinder nonsense. And then, yeah, just some more about what happened last week on the return to Mecca that I spoke about in a previous episode. But, yeah, work's going well. It's been, slow, just bored to tears at work. But we got a new guy in, named Brian, lovely fellow, kind of squirrely, kind of squirmy. But we're going to get into that. And, yeah, just, what could I say about him that hasn't been said? Yeah, he's just kind of like one of those guys that kind of fixes the collar of his shirt often and kind of grinds his teeth. And but yeah, he said he's from Canada, so I automatically felt a kinship towards the young buck, because I myself, my blood runs from the north as well. And but yeah, I was talking to him, and I figured that he lived in Canada and would commute over the border, as other people who are employed at my place of employment do. So I thought that since he said he was from Canada, well, smokes, he must be commuting over the border. And I said, well, how was the border? How was the border this morning? And he goes, what are you talking about? I don't live in Canada. And I was like, oh, I thought you said that you're Canadian. And he said, oh yeah, well, I'm French Canadian. Like I'm just, so I don't even know what it means to be Canadian, really. I guess I have family that lives there. I don't think that makes me, because like you could just be American but also be Italian. I don't fucking know. It's all so stupid. But yeah, so I guess he doesn't actually live in Canada, but he's kind of claiming it. And I thought he was Canadian. He's kind of a well-mannered, kind of apologetic gentleman. Apologies for his squirming and churning. But so yeah, he's, like I said, squirrely guy. Not really, he can dress himself, but he's just kind of like he dances around a lot, like he kind of skips and sings. He's not gay, but he's got kind of some characteristics, and not really as much of a neck itcher. But so I figured that this gentleman was on some rails, on some cocaine, which I myself have never taken part of, so I guess I don't really have an accurate read. But if this podcast, at any point of its running time, or at any point of the whole lifespan of this podcast, if any one episode gets more than 10 views, I'm going to start fucking ripping rails like you've never fucking seen before. I'm just going to rest on my fucking laurels with my one episode that gets more than 10 views, and I'm just going to go retire in fucking Jupiter, Florida. That's where I'm going to go and just fucking slam rails and fucking slam fucking glass tables. But yeah, so this gentleman, that's what I figured. I figured he liked himself some nose worms, some whatever the fuck you want to call them. I can't even think of any other silly names for Coke at the moment, but if you want to, chime along. It's like the Dora when she would ask you like questions. But yeah, so I just figured he's on Coke, no big deal. He likes to dance and sing and kind of grind his teeth a little bit. But then one of my lovely coworkers, she said that she's seen old Grinder out in the wild. And she had, she described him very elegant. What the fuck's the difference between eloquent and I don't. We must consult Google for this really quick. Is eloquent? Eloquent, fluent, or persuasive. I guess I was looking for elegant, but... Or no, eloquent, persuasive. Eloquently described him as a crackhead that she's seen before out in the wild. And then she went into this very cool story about how she worked at, a convenience store that's on... It's on 18th and, is it Niagara Ave that she said? It's one of the stores. It's called the Red Store. That's what she called it. And she said that she worked there for about 6 months during the whole OG COVID times, that 2020 times. And said that she would get that unemployment money, that 600, and she was working off the books at the damn Red store. So she was fucking caked up, fucking living the dream. And excuse me. So she worked there for a while, was working hard for the money. And she said she liked it. It was chill. Said she would work from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. And I was like, well, were you ever like scared? Were there ever any sketchy people coming in there? She said, no, everybody was usually very nice. Like they got to know her and all that. But eventually I think somebody got shot down the street from the store, and she said that was enough for her to split. But I guess the owner of the store actually lived upstairs, and he's like, no, don't worry, I'll like take care of it, as he's like asleep, above the store while she's getting robbed or something like that. So she didn't want that to happen. Can't blame her. But she said at this here store that she worked at, they sold little pipes. I guess they're called, she called them roses, I think. So it's basically like a crack pipe that's like a couple dollars. And she said that she would sell these roses, at least like 40 of them a night. So she would go through, on any given night of the week, she would sell 40 crack pipes and put them onto the street. Jeez. And so, yeah, that's what she said her full-time occupation was just slanging them little short stacks, the short pipes. And who did she sell one of these little pipes to? Was Grinder from earlier, who I was speaking of. So now that's just interesting stuff there, folks. And so that's why she said he's kind of squirrely, but hey, still love the guy. He's a cool guy. He sure can screw in a light bulb. And yeah, that was just an interesting story. I don't know if I would ever want to work in like a convenience store. Well, I guess I just kind of stand around at my job too, so that'd be relatively the same thing. But I feel like the over and under of getting robbed, you're probably more likely to get robbed at a convenience store than at a hotel, right? I don't fucking know. But either way, the gentleman's a fake Canadian, and so what if he smoked a little crack back in the day, or just bought the pipe? Can't blame him. I've known many a folk who have smoked crack. Or I don't know. Maybe I've been in a vehicle with some people who have before, and I may or may not have been related to them too. But yeah, that's pretty much been my week at work so far. So just been chilling. And yeah, there's too much time. You get too much time to just sit around and not work. So then you just learn deep, dark secrets about your lovely coworkers. But hey, what are you going to do? And others who've been fired for doing sexual misconduct on the job, and just all the juicy stories just because you're sitting around idle hands and you're just fucking talking shit about your coworkers. Here we go. But yeah, hope you're having a good day. Right now it is 58 degrees and cloudy, and it is quite windy outside. But yeah, I don't know how it is the middle of December and it's almost 60 degrees outside. Not complaining, just a little curious, just a little bi-curious, just a little weather curious about what's going on outside. Probably going to suffer some kind of repercussions from this in the future. If not us, maybe our children. But who knows? Who knows? But yeah. Yeah, so work's been good this week. Hope your work week is going well. I had what did I have to do? Yeah, Crazy Frog NFT scam. But yeah. Last thought. Yeah, also at work this week we had, because obviously in all hotels now, past COVID times, pretty much all hotels have transformed into non smoking, which isn't really that surprising, I guess. Or maybe it is, I don't fucking know. But either way, once we check somebody and we have them sign a fucking slip about our smoking policy and it states if you smoke in the room, you get a $250 charge. And to make a long story short, I had just some people, and they ended up smoking pot in the room, which it's fucking 90 degrees outside. The birds are chirping. Like, it doesn't even get cold in December anymore. Why don't you just go outside and smoke pot? It's legal. You don't gotta, smoke it inside, but some people choose to do that, and that's what they did. And then my boss had to charge them fucking $250 from their card. And it's like, the people, like, do the people not, like, think that the property doesn't have their card on file? Like, come on, you're fucking playing with fire here, bud. But yeah, just for future reference, if anyone's planning on going out there and having an orgy or just smoke some Black and Milds in a 2-queen room somewhere in a Motel 6, yeah, they'll charge you even if you leave too much of a mess. They'll still charge you. So that's what I did. I wasn't aware of that, but if you leave too much of a mess, they will charge your card a little bit. And it's like, do people still even like rent hotel rooms to have parties in? I remember that was kind of all the rage back in the day, kind of like middle school, high school era. I remember this one girl who I think died of a freaking opiate overdose. I think she got one of the motels that's up on Niagara Falls Boulevard and just had a hootenanny in there with all the fellas. And I don't know if they were fucking or if they were sucking or just having a good time, but I think they might have got pinched in that scenario. And then even I went to a hotel party once. This gentleman who runs a sub shop, he had himself a hootenanny in the Seneca Casino. This had to have been 10th or 11th grade maybe. And yeah, just having this party, and you have to send people down the elevator to bring them up to like the room. The room was on one of the top floors. I think his grandma had gotten the room just because she's a gambling addict. They just give people free rooms so they don't go to the falls and fucking jump off. But either way, she got this room and then gave it to grandson, and then he decided to have a party. And then all of us boys, of course, we were party animals back then. We were kind of plugged in with the scumbag circuit of partiers, party rockers in the house. So then I think we probably put in a couple group chats, and then there we go. We had ourselves a party on our hands. And yeah, inside the Seneca Casino, literally probably 2014 or 2015. And yeah, just a lot of underage kids. I was probably like 15 or 16. I remember being in the John in the bathroom doing some inappropriate things with a lady who I think was from Tonawanda or North Tonawanda. And then her and her friends ended up driving me home and did more inappropriate shit in the back seat of the fucking car. Just no regard for anybody. I don't know who the fuck I thought I was. Thought I was fucking Jay-Z for a second, sitting in the back seat. Um, but yeah, you gotta love just destroying a hotel room. I think we had the beds propped up against the wall, and literally it was doomed from fucking Jump Street. Of course, if you got a million fucking snot-nosed little fucking pieces of shit in the room, it's gonna be so loud. And I'm assuming it was on the weekend, so the hotel was probably like packed. And so it was like I said, just doomed from Jump Street. There's probably people across the hall, right next door. So the party probably lasted literally an hour and a half before they started fucking. They had security knock on the door, and yeah, then we all just had to leave. that's that's literally it. And yeah, so it's not really worth it. I guess it's a bigger bang for your buck if you could get the folks' house and just get the folks to fuck off for a couple of days. That's pretty much what we ended up making all of our doing all of our partying, just, well, mostly even garage. Well, I guess they started off at my house, the parties, and then kind of transitioned over to Mr. Christian's garage. And the good thing about my house was that we would have most of the parties in the basement after the people robbed my mom's purse and stole her phone. So I was like, okay, we got to kind of move it down to the cellar. So then we moved it down there. Very low ceilings, nails everywhere, tetanus everywhere, leaky pipes. And good thing about that is that noise or just loud music doesn't really bleed outside that well from a basement, since it's so kind of compacted with dirt, mud and dirt. And yeah, so I don't think we ever had the cops come to my house for a party. Literally not once. And I live, in a relatively busy neighborhood. So yeah, that's kind of surprising. A realization on this podcast that's quite surprising. Um, but if you're getting your dick sucked in the Seneca Niagara Casino, I don't even know what the actual name of it is, but the casino that's here, and then you got people flipping beds up on the walls, and you're with girls from Tonawanda, you're gonna that's a recipe for the fucking police to come. So that's what happened. But if you're just having a little wholesome kickback with the fucking boys, with some fucking patriots, then you're fucking home free. And I was talking to Bob about it. It's kind of crazy that 2016 time, when we were going to parties, Bob said he kept track of it. He only stayed in his house for one night, or no, 2 nights out of the whole summer of 2016, which I would imagine Christian and my numbers were very, very similar. In 2016, we were literally like 18 years old, and we weren't even old enough to go to bars. Now we have all the scumbag, hole-in-the-wall bars at our disposal in the whole wide world, and we didn't even need them back then. There was just so many people having parties at the same time. And I don't think I've heard of a house party in the last like 3.5 years. Maybe because I'm a loser who can't even handle his Bud Light Lime anymore. But call me old-fashioned, but no, I don't know. But yeah, that was kind of a weird thought to have, that we were so busy with parties, and they just kind of happened every single night. So that's how you know that we peaked in high school. This is a peaked in high school episode brought to you by... This episode is brought to you by Peaking in High School. This episode is brought to you by Peaking in High School. But yeah, I feel like any kind of hotel party or things like that, it's always going to be a sketchy bunch. I don't know why. Because it's like, well, why can't you just have it at your house? And yeah, I think that one hotel party was literally the only hotel party I've ever been to, just because it seemed like such a bad idea, because you're on You're on their turf. You're playing by their rules. Um, yeah, just not a good time. And yeah, I think that was the first time that I ever did any kind of act with a woman in a public, well, not public, but in like a setting like that. We were inside the bathroom of of this shitty super small hotel room. People are like knocking on the door. They have to take a shit, and I'm like trying to be, even though they know that we're in there. It's so stupid. Having any kind of sex at a party, it's like it's not really, because you're always gonna, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get fucking walked in upon, or they're just gonna be knocking on the door, or somebody or your friends are just gonna be fucking with you, as they should be, because you should just be hanging out with your friends, not fucking getting your dick sucked by some chubby ginger, or fucking railing your math teachers, railing your ELA teacher, 7th grade ELA teachers, second niece, cousin, I don't know. But gotta love the things that you've seen at parties, like just the things that have happened around you at parties, things that your friends have done, and now that you're like old and don't go to as many house parties anymore, or just a little bit more mature, you're like, Jesus Christ, that is such a bad idea. Like, I wouldn't come within a fucking country mile of that plan. Like, that plan sounds like it's just a disaster waiting to happen. Yeah, let's have a party in like the biggest hotel in the city on a weekend and have like literally 60 people inside of a hotel room and have somebody have to come down to the lobby to walk them up every single time. Yeah, it's just a bad idea. Or like fucking putting a can of spray paint into a fire. Gotta love that. This is definitely art. Yeah, I think that's already been discussed on this here program. But long story short, we were at Christian's house that he was moving out of. His mom had already been staying at the new joint, the new place, new homestead. And we were just having literal garbage fires in his backyard, just burning everything and anything we could get our little fucking greasy mitts on, including a couch, a mattress, many a blanket, and then just like beer cans and shit like that. But then Chunk threw a it was, yeah, I think it was a spray paint can. It wasn't just a cologne can, because those would be less pressurized, I suppose. They'd be a little bit less dangerous. But no, he went for just a whole spray paint can, and we just sat there and waited it out. And eventually, of course, it exploded, and it sounded like a fucking bomb went off. And it's literally not middle of the night, probably 9 p.m. on a weekend. And then, sure enough, fucking Christian's house gets surrounded by cops, and then he got like a cease and desist or some shit like that, or some kind of citation or warning. And and yeah, that was just that's just the things that the boys would get into back in the day. But now we are changed men, and I think we're better men now that we have done such things. And yeah, I guess you got to do stupid shit at some point, even if it's a couple days out of the week, and then the other days out of the week you're straight. Play it straight, be a good little boy. And then others, you're fucking blacked out in Foley's Bar and Grill with your hands on a fucking 65 someone's fucking grandma's ass. And yeah, sometimes you're the devil, and sometimes you're Satan, baby. But yeah, this has been Garden Pails number 97 for Wednesday 12/22, December 22nd, 2021. I thank you for coming along for this here cast. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a great day, folks.